I just don't pick a thing out of there and do a little bit of that and do a little bit of this. Right, and basically give you stuff like a Google search engine, right, and you just got a lot of information and then you go away with that. And then what happens if a lot of information, it's hard to remember a lot of things. So what I try to do with the workshops that I do, they link on from one to the next. So the first one we did, which is at the first UK Wing Chun Gathering, I discussed a little bit about the forms and what we kind of believe the purpose of them are, and a little bit of some of the combat ideas that we have. Right, so what we're basically saying there is that, and you've heard the SIfu, especially over the past few seminars we've had of the UK Wing Chun Gatherings, everyone's now, well not now saying, but are saying, right, that no one's going to leave a punch there for you. Right, no one can leave a punch there for you. Right. Now, I don't like to talk about this, but I'm going to say it because I think it's right that I do this occasion. Not that I'm proud to say, in my humble experience, right, of Muslim now, but what's his name, but working in nightclub doors, working like for different security firms, having, not proud to say, real street combat situations, competition situations, boxing professionally and amateur, and you know, people attacking you have to deal with. I've never in my life, you know, Wing Chun career, used bombs or lapsa or things like this. Never used it. What we're going to practice today is stuff what I've used and have worked. That's what I'm going to. I'm not saying that bomb lapsa cheese, bomb lapsa and bomb lapsa and these things don't happen and they won't work. I'm just saying in my experience when it comes to a combat situation, I've had to use them. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is this, is that the more complex your combat system is, the more easy it is for someone to counter you. And a bomb to lapsa movement is a complex movement. It's 1, 2, and 3. And your opponent is going to leave his hand there for you, right, to do 1, 2, and 3 to you. Right. So what it is, right, when we use a bomb to lapsa movement, we might talk about how we're going to use that later on. But the main thing is, right, is that we never use that in a combat situation, as you see some people might profess to do it in that way. Right, so our situation is this, the way how we do our combat, which I tried to explain in the first seminar, is that someone attempts to attack you, they should feel pain immediately. That is the incentive to let them know not to do it again. Right, so whatever we do, whatever happens, pain has to be administered. If there's a block and a strike, and we know which way 17 is attacking the face, but if there's a block and a strike, 1, 2, then that, at the time that 2 comes, that's the time for the opponent might to do something else and hit you. Right, so we don't do that. So the first thing we teach our students to do is not to block anything whatsoever. We teach them how to hit. Hence why these things are coming out. Because in most Wing Chun schools, I'm not saying that everyone, so I don't think he's talking about me. I'm just saying this that in most Wing Chun schools, when we train in most classes, we use a lot of control. Because if you train with your training partner, you don't want to hurt him. So a lot of the times you're pulling your punches and you're stopping your technique because you want him there for next week for you to train with. Yeah, so you don't hurt him, you don't hit him. When you're doing chisa, you're not really landing the shots and a full-fledged punch to the face and, you know, SIfu Garry Mckenzie just showed, right, you know, some techniques. You're not going to knee someone in the groin, you're not going to do this. Yeah? But the thing you have to ask your question is do you have the power to take someone out? And ask yourself this question. If you ain't hitting something with full power on a regular basis, you have no business hitting anyone at all. Now the difference is that we sometimes we can sometimes knock other systems, mixed martial arts and boxing, Thai boxing, but these people hit things on a regular basis. We have the Mok Yan Jong. We don't really hit you with full power, do we? You might palm it. We don't really punch it because it's not for that. But now if you say to a Wing Chun person, listen, look, work the heavy bag, work the pads, they're going to say you're an innovator, you're a motivator, you're not really doing real Wing Chun. That's what they want to say. And then what happens is when they do use their wing in a real life situation and they hit someone, the hand disintegrates because the hand has never been used to hitting anything ever. So what I do with my students, I encourage them from the off to get equipment and use it. Because then when you use things like pads and things like this, your training partner's holding for you, he can give a critique of your power. Say, listen, look, you hit like a baby, man. They hit harder than that. That ain't gonna hurt no one. So if I got to hit my training partner to make it, no, I don't have to do that. He can hold that for me once he knows how to use it, and he can know whether there's real power there or not. And you can actually get used to unleashing your force, which you don't really get to use to do most of the time in the class. Now, another thing you can ask yourself is this. If you're training your class once a week, twice a week, which most of us do, most of us are not 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week in a class, but once a week, okay? For maybe 2 hours or an hour and a half, in some classes 1 hour. And in that class, you've not hit anything. And the next week, you don't hit anything. And then maybe the week after, you might hit something. Are you really preparing yourself for hitting people? Ask yourself that question. When it comes to now saying, I'm going to hit someone, it's not will you do it, it's can you do it? And when you do it, what will the effect be? Because like we said when we come back to the first seminar, what you're going to end up doing is just sitting off and just winding up even more because you're punching doing anything. When we used to box, when I used to box back in the day, this is how the mentality is. And we can do Wing Chun all day long and touch hands and play, but this is how it is in boxing. If I was sparring someone and I couldn't hurt the person in the ring, he didn't want to spar with me. If I couldn't hurt him, he didn't want to spar with me. The reason why he didn't want to spar with me is because he knew I could just walk through your punches. There's no danger there. So we've got to get off of ourselves a little bit. And for me personally, we should use equipment like this. And unleash the power. We're going to do this today. You're going to have to find out something. You have to put yourself in an uncomfortable place. That is the warrior training. We call it the warrior training. Why? And I know we all view YouTube. Yeah? We do that. Yeah? I see it sometimes. And you have many different types of martial arts on there. But in the martial arts, we can bring it in other ways. You have the MEs. I call them the martial entertainers. Yeah? They're very entertaining. And we know who they are. We don't have to mention their names. But they're very entertaining. Right? And we talk about, oh, you see SIfu so-and-so, how we laugh about it. Yeah? Then you might have what I call, and clean your minds up when I say this, yeah? The MFs. The martial fantasists. Right? And these people, they try to make the Wing Chun look easy. Yeah? That's why it's called Gong Fu. Gong in Cantonese means work. It takes work. It's not easy. It's simple, but your training is not supposed to be easy. If it's easy, everybody would be doing it. Training is meant to be hard. It's meant to be hard work. It's not meant to be easy. Someone disagrees with me, that's up to them. But I've never seen an easy fight. A real fight, someone's trying to hurt you, he's trying to destroy you, and he's trying his best to do it, you're going to make sure right that you're in shape. You might be lucky in getting out of there quickly, or it might be a fluke, but prepare for your worst enemy. So then you have what I call the MCs. My English is terrible, right? the martial complicatedness, there's a word like that. Some people, they complicate the system. When you can do something very simple and very direct, about 5, 6 stages, 8 stages before the job gets done. You're going to get down for that. So, what we're going to go through today, right, is what we call toolbox maneuvers. Things that you can take out of your toolbox. And you should drill them on a daily basis, not on a weekly basis, not on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, so they're so automated that that's what you're going to do. Nothing you have to think about, nothing you have to, should I do, you're just going to do it. Because you train it every single day. So if I just boil it up a little 1 second. What we talked about in the first workshop, and I'm just going to touch upon it to get you to understand what we're doing. We're saying like that, and we were talking about just the jab. Right, not that someone's a jab in the street, we're talking about that. If he throws a jab, see he's leaving it there. But people ain't going to leave it there, jab. It's gone. We talked about this the first time. So I said, what you got to do, this is not me saying it, this is what Wing Chun system says, right? Lick, her, feel. Lick, energy, force. He's the enemy. Herm goes towards. Feel, he's dart. If he darts towards me, I go towards him. Because what it is, like someone attacks me, I attack him. Wing Chun for us is not a self-defense system. And it's not a counter-attacking system. It's an attacking system. So if he attacks me, I attack him. If it happens, right, that he's stronger than me, I can go into something else. I could go into this if it's still there. But the main thing is, right, is that if he's going back, I'm going to follow it through and hit it. So you get in the habit, you get out of the fear of thinking, I've got to stop his punch. No, you've got to stop him. And the way of us hitting him is to do what? Is to hurt him. Straight away. Don't waste no time. So that's just basically what we talked about last. I ain't going to go to all the scenarios we trained because, I'm sure what's the name of it, if you want to see it, right, Aiden will show you the thing. What it is, right, we just talked about, if someone goes to attack you, you attack him. We went through all the scenarios, if it's strong, you yield, if I'm pursuing him, what to do after that. The second one we went on chi cell. Our chi cell works on the same basis. If someone tries to attack you during chi cell, you hit him. So I used one scenario, and I tried to use a scenario what you've seen in many Wing Chun schools, right? And not dissing it, but I said we just don't do it, right? And what we used was this: if we're doing Kun San, we're rolling, which is most schools do. And some people like to do the Lao Tzu, Fak Tzu movement and chop. Some people might not like to do the Lao Tzu and do a Lao Tzu, do something like this. One student said to me in the works, he said, what if they grab over the top? You know what I mean? Wherever they grab, we said what we use is that for us is a complex movement to go from here to here, whatever the energy is, to go from here to here is a complex movement. So we say when someone attempts to do that, there's an opportunity for me to just bang them straight away. Even if there's a barrier there, what I'm showing him, right, is that you try to do something, I'm going to hit you. He's now got something to stop now. Look, there's something he has to stop now. Even if it's this awkward movement here, I'm giving him something to deal with. Rather than he does it and I'm trying to stop what he's giving me. No, I give him something immediately to deal with. So that's our way. So what we did with Chi Sao to show, if he does a Lao Tzu, this one will go. We just go straight in one, bang, straight in this like this, and then we continue going from there. The reason why we said that is because we don't know what that movement will translate to. It might become times at outside getting hit here. It might be the Lao Tzu here. It might be the Lao Tzu and the Fak Tzu chop, the chop. It might be, we don't know what it is, so I don't want to find out. What I do, if he tries to do that, I just go bang, straight in. If there's resistance pushing, I might leave it and then go someplace else, I might do that. But the main thing is, we give him something, we try to hit him straight away. That was our thing. Then we went on to say, right, when we do Bong Lao Tzu Chi Tzu, it's most people do. Yeah? We said we have to talk about footwork, we've got to try and make sure we do the right thing with our feet. So I gave you a little drill. I said, what we do is if someone pulls you like this way, right? If he pulls you, you use your right leg because he pulls you to the right. I don't, if he pulls me, use my wrong leg. He pulled me, I did the wrong leg. So he pulled me, yeah? I don't use the wrong leg because now my back's turned. So we did basic drills like this. And what we found is many people didn't have the right footwork. Thank you. The reason why I'm doing this is because when you come to workshops like these, so I'm talking about this itself, that's what we're going to do. When you come to a workshop like these, don't come in with the mindset that I'm going to come here to learn some new techniques and to see what I can get to put in my bag and go home. When you come to workshops like these, have the mindset to say, I'm here to find out what my weaknesses are, and what I'm not good at, and what I need to improve on. Not what I can come away with. Because in 2 days you ain't gonna learn anything. Right? What you're gonna do, right, you're gonna think, my God, I wasn't good at that. I thought that I was good at this. And the reason why is because when we work into a particular system, right, like styles, yeah? And for me, I don't like the word styles. You know? Because style, you sometimes put it over substance. I'm into substance. I'm not into lineages. Yeah? So when we can sometimes have that way, it's hard for us to get ourselves out of our own little boxes. And we're used to doing our things our way. When I'm actually observing, I'm seeing, I can see that everyone's used to doing things their way. That's okay, because we should have the idea to say, look, let me try and learn something else from you. I'm not good at whatever's coming. Let me try and see if I can. Oh, good, I'm not good at that thing. My footwork's rubbish. You've learned something about yourself today. What we're doing here today is, I think, it's a very, very important part of training. You have to put yourselves through your training. You have to train like warriors. If you're going to be on the street, it's not what you can do. It really is how we can do what you can do. It really, really is. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get a couple of these pads here. Actually, let my student demonstrate first of all. We're going to do a series of drills.
SIfu Garry,
yes.
Please, may I ask a question before you move on?
Sure.
My question is with regards to that pull coming out of the bong lat drill and the footwork that a person does.
Sure.
Do you find that, how do most people react with their footwork to that pull, in your experience?
It depends on what's his name, if they've drilled it long enough. Or what I see, if I could borrow, you want to take a up there, yeah? What I find is if he does a pull, right? Double pull like this. It may be a pull right to do a strike, but say he does a double pull. Right, what I find, see, I'm trying to use that leg. What I find